ora, Meg. Tēnā koe tō āwhina mai. Thank you so much for putting rusty stuff up in our garden. What's going on here?
Well, look, we've got this awkward little garden in a space that, in our long-term plan, will be a beautiful barbecue area.
He hanga momo tipu. What are the sort of plants we're going to put in here?
Well, I've got some scarlet runner beans, which are going to climb up a frame that we're going to install in here. And we've got two beautiful passion fruit plants, which we're going to plant on either side to climb up the reinforcing mesh.
Oh, ka tāhua ke. So that's going to be stunning. So what do we need to do first?
Right, well, I think first what we're going to do is we're actually going to dig some compost into the soil, because this previously had been really neglected. It had just been backfilled with some old hard clay behind the retaining wall. And passion fruit in particular love really rich soil.
Anō nei, kua tino piki te ora o te takiwā nei. It's like this little section has just had a big boost.
Yes, it's been given a new lease of life, really. And so the next thing we need to do is basically dig out our holes for our passion fruit. And what we're going to add are some water storage crystals. And these crystals are great because basically they will store water for when the soil gets dry.
Oh, okay.
And when the soil around the crystals becomes drier than the actual crystals themselves, the water will actually move into the soil, thereby watering the plant. You don't actually have to use the water storage crystals at all. It's just passion fruit loves a lot of moisture, particularly over the growing season. And so I thought, just as a little backup way, if we ever go away on holiday for a week or two, we can have peace of mind knowing that the water crystals are going to water our passion fruit for us.
Nā reira, how te mahi ahua? What do you have to do?
Well, with the water crystals, there are two ways of doing it. We can pre-soak the crystals like this, which I would definitely recommend if you're planting into a container, or you can actually mix the water crystals directly into the planting hole.
Hare te tepe. It's not like jelly. You can just see that it's actually holding water, and that's quite fascinating.
It's neat, eh?
Yeah, it's cool. Sorry, kua paru iau. Me hohonu te rua nei. Do we have to make it quite deep, this hole?
Yeah, that's right, because we need to have enough room for our water crystals, and we're going to add in some sheep pellets. And then we need to add our passion fruit as well. So the hole needs to be quite big, and we can always backfill with this lovely compost and soil mix if we do make it too large. Okay, so I think we can add our water crystals in now. And then you just dig that through into the planting hole.
Cool.
Where the roots are going to go. So now we'll add a good handful of sheep pellets as well.
How te hua o tēnā, and what does that do?
Well, the sheep pellets just have a good amount of almost fibre in them to help enrich the soil, but they've got a lot of nutrients as well. Lovely!
Oh, I can tell. I would, if I was a plant, well, ka tahi te kāinga ko tēnei. This would just be their best dream house.
Exactly.
Me karirua noa in another hole.
Yep.
Where do we want to put that?
We'll put this one in the same place on the other side, so they'll be symmetrical.
Kāre no wene kia tukuna ki te wai, so these ones haven't been put in the water yet. Is that okay?
That's absolutely fine. I think when you're planting straight into the ground, you can just add the water crystals into the plant hole, and they will actually just expand when you water the plants into the ground. So that's fine. We'll just mix the water crystals into the soil like that.
He koko iti noi hone, so that was just a teaspoon.
Just 1 teaspoon for a plant like this.
Ka pai. Me karirua anō, so do we need to do another hole here?
Not yet. What we're going to do is we're going to build our last frame here, and then we're going to plant everything together.
Ka pai.
We're going to grab a really long piece of bamboo, and we're going to measure out equal spacings and drill holes wide enough so that we can thread twine through the bamboo and through some eye hooks that we're going to drill up the sides of these posts, and that is going to give us our frame. Okay, so we've tied off our twine at the last eye hook, and then we just need to tighten the twine all the way back down, right to the very eye hook that we began with.
Te tā more tanga ne at the bottom.
Yep, that's the one. So, do you want to tie that off, and then we'll just cut the last little bit off.
Koe rite pā mo te whakatō. So I think we're ready for planting. Any special instructions?
No, not really. We've done all the hard yards in terms of the planting hole, so we can just pop these in.
ngā tāhua that's so beautiful. Me whai te akaka matua me ki, so it's got to follow this line. How do we help the plants do that?
Well, they have a natural tendency to curl around whatever is available, but we can help them out a little bit with this by gently winding the central tendril right around the middle of our mesh, like that.
E tipu area, and you just grow all the way up to the top.